Before we hop, skip, and jump into this one, I just want you guys to know that this took me so freaking long to make. It took me so many takes. I couldn't English. I didn't like what I was saying. It was just straight booty cheeks. So I hope you guys like this new little setup as well. Trying to be a little bit more legit with the microphone, the lighting, the background setup going on here. So I really hope you guys like it. If you do, let me know in the comments below. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video. So from time to time, you guys ask me what gear I use for my photography. What lens would I use? What camera do I use? So I figured since it's 2019, kind of do a what's in my camera bag for 2019. And I finally got all the gear I've been wanting for so long. I finally finalized my kit. So what perfect time to make this video than right now? I'm not gonna go in depth in my bag, just gonna go through the gear that I use for my photography. Before we get into the juicy bits, I did get this question in the past, and that's if I use filters on my lenses. And I don't use filters. The only time I'll ever use a filter is the circular polarizer right here. If I'm doing car shoots, which is good for cutting the window reflection and sun glares, or if I'm shooting portraits through a window. Other than that, I don't use any type of filters on my lenses. Maybe once in a while a UV filter just to protect it, but other than that, I don't use any filters besides this, and that's very rarely. For batteries, I used to not really care about, aftermarket batteries, but I don't know why, I kind of just get sketched out now. So I have two official Canon LPE6 batteries. These things are a little bit expensive at 60 bucks, but they're very good quality, they last a long time, and they're just good batteries. So I use two official Canon batteries. Real honorable mention is my film camera, and that is the Canon AE1 program. I don't use this as much as I would like to, but I do use it here and there. Now this isn't a piece of camera gear, but this is what I use to edit my photos with, and that is a 15-inch MacBook Pro. I used to use a 13-inch. I found this off Craigslist for 500 bucks, so it's a nice little upgrade, fully loaded, and I really like the little 15-inch over the 13-inch. And for editing programs, I use Photoshop and Lightroom to edit my photos. So now let's get on to the good stuff, which is the camera gear. So first thing is the body that I use. If you guys haven't been following me throughout 2018, which, come on man, what are you doing? Lame.pv, fire portraits. I made the jump to Canon, and I used to hate Canon when I first started, but I got a 5D Mark II back in January. I used it all 2018, the whole year. I loved it so much. It was a very solid camera, it was reliable, it got me some of my favorite shots, but at the end of the day, it's an 11-year-old camera. That's an old, outdated camera, especially in technology standards. So I wanted to get a little bit something upgraded in 2019, so that is the Canon 5D Mark III. So this isn't a massive upgrade over the Mark II, but definitely is a nice little upgrade. It has a newer autofocusing system, way more autofocusing points. This has 61. The 5D Mark II had 9, and only the center was the usable one. Other ones just kind of sucked. So way more autofocusing points, better autofocusing system, newer sensor, newer processor, overall just a newer camera, and a little bit newer ergonomics as well. So this is a very nice little upgrade over the Mark II. I'm really excited to use this thing for this year, and I can't wait to see what I get with it. So this is my new camera that I'm going to be using for 2019, which is the Canon 5D Mark III. So now for the lenses. This first lens I've had for a little bit now, and this is the Canon 35mm f1.4L Mark I. This lens is a very solid lens. It's good quality, great bokeh, great color rendition, and everything like that. And you can't go wrong with a 35mm focal length. 35 is great for getting your location with your subject if you want to show both of them off. But my problem with this is I don't go to a lot of beautiful locations. I don't travel a lot, so it's really hard to use that because I shoot in a lot of ugly locations. So sometimes this lens gets a little bit too much in the shot, and I really want it to be more focused on the subject. So that's why I don't use this as often. I still use it on all my shoots, as every situation is different, but it's not my go-to anymore. But this is still a very solid lens. I love it so much, and I use it a good amount as well. But the 35mm 1.4L Mark I is the first lens that I use. The second lens is my go-to lens. I love this thing so much. I use it every single shoot that I do, and that is the Canon 50mm f1.2L. This thing is just such a beast. It's such a well-rounded lens. The 50mm focal length is a very solid focal length for portraits. You can't go wrong with it. Along with the 1.2, this thing just really does a great job at separating your subject from backgrounds, and it's so good with the bokeh, and I just love bokeh. Like I'm a big bokeh person, so This being 1.2 really does a great job at doing that. And it's just, I love the 50mm. It's a great lens for focusing on the details of your subject, making it about them. And if you're in an ugly location, which I am a lot of the time, this does a great job at getting rid of that and not knowing where you're at. And that's what I really like about the 50 over the 35 and why I use it more often. And a little bit of a tidbit about this lens too versus the 35mm is this lens is a lot softer and dreamier wide open. It's not that it's not sharp, it's still a very sharp lens. It just gives a softer, dreamier vibe wide open versus the 35, which actually makes the images a little bit sharper. And not that that's a bad thing, I just don't like my images to be over the top sharp. I like them to be sharp, but not like crazy sharp. So I like that softer, dreamier vibe this 50mm provides, and that's why I use it all the time. So the second lens that I use, and most of my shots are taken with this thing, is the 50mm 1.2L. Finally, for lenses is this behemoth bad boy lens right here. This is the Canon 85mm 1.2L Mark II. This thing is just a bokeh beast, the holy grail of portrait lenses. This thing is incredible. It's amazing. It's very heavy, it's very bulky, it's slow with autofocusing, so that's why a lot of people don't like it. But this thing is just meant for bokeh. Like, this is just the king of bokeh. It melts backgrounds, it obliterates them. Like, whenever I post shots with this lens, people are like, what lens is that? Like a 0.95? With the compression with the 85 along with the 1.2, it's just insane. I love this lens so much, and I've been using it a lot more actually. When I first got it, I didn't really use it as much. So this is the final lens that I have and own and use, the 85mm 1.2L version 2. There you guys go, that is all the gear I use relating my photography. If you have any more questions maybe about the gear itself or anything in general, just leave a comment down below or message me on Instagram and I'll gladly answer any more questions you guys may have. I want to throw this out there too that I've been shooting for about 2.5 years, so I didn't just get all these nice L lenses overnight. It's been a long time of just slowly investing, saving up, and finding deals. All my gear is used. I bought it from people, and it's not bad to buy used gear. You can find great deals, save a lot of money, and still get very good quality glass. So don't be afraid to buy used gear over new gear. All of us as photographers know that gear will never determine how good our photos are. It won't make us amazing photographers by having a nicer lens. I feel like so many people think this. I'm a firm believer in using what you're able to get to its fullest. I know people who use T5s, T3Is, and they absolutely kill it with beautiful images. So it's never the gear that's going to give you beautiful shots. It's always going to be on you. So use what you have to its fullest, save up money, and get that newer gear when you're able to. But don't eat ice for 3 weeks because you want a newer lens. Save up and invest in yourself when the time is right and when you're able to. So I hope you guys like this video. Let me know what you think about the setup, the lighting, and everything going on here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one later.